All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from all around the world. Thank you so much for joining our behind the scenes webinar today. My name is Mary, for anyone who doesn't know. I work on the Epic Air Quality Fund team with Krista and Farah. And today we have LAMATA, who will be talking about their work so far, their air quality deployments, any of the products that they've created. And this series, for anybody that's attended before, we've had a couple of organizations jump on. We've had NASA, we've had PACI, and this is just a space for all of us to share our current work and get inspiration from each other. And then we can do at the very end, there's like a 30-minute session for a Q&A. So if there's anything that anybody has idea-wise or any questions for Lamada, that would be the space to do so. And then before I pass it off to LaMata, just a quick reminder that was placed in our awardee WhatsApp that the map that Krista had created for COP, where we're collecting stories and voices from around the world from our awardees. If you could go ahead and do that before what date, Krista?
This Friday.
Before this Friday, that would be great. And then Krista should have dropped the link in the chat for you guys to do that. Okay. And then a reminder also that for anybody who wants to participate in the behind the scenes webinar, please just let Far and I know, and then we can go from there and schedule it. So thanks so much. I'll pass it over to Lamada.
Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you, everyone. Great to be here. My name is Muizz. I'm a research and evaluation specialist with LAMATA, and I'm going to be presenting our pathway to net zero and how EPIC Fund has helped us to get to where we are today. Next slide, please. Today, I'll just be going through the summary of what we're going to talk about: Lagos, the transport profile, our master plans, our plans, strategic plans, ongoing projects, and future projections of where we expect to be and sustainable solution for transport in Lagos. Next slide, please. This is the overview of Lagos. In 1985, we had our founder 96 square meter of Lagos urban area. Now in 2025, we have spread to about 2,707 square meter. We can see that according to our projections from the Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics, Lagos is expected to hit 40 million by 2050. So it is very important for us to plan adequately and prepare for what is to come. Next slide, please. Next slide, Mary. Okay, thank you. So we're going to talk about the overview of the Lagos transport profile. In Lagos, transport is the third contributor to GHG emission, and that was done in 2015. We believe that this number has gone up significantly. In Lagos, 97% of all trips are done by road. 85% of them operate diesel and petrol engine, and of which 72% of them are paratransit, which we call downfalls in Lagos. We can see the pie chart on the right that constitutes the most to this emissions in Lagos. The average trip by length by public transportation is 9 kilometers, and the average trip by car is 12 kilometers. And I would like us to pay attention to this much here, specifically for the downfall 72%, because I'm going to refer to it much later at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So LAMATA is a semi-autonomous agency in Lagos State government. We are charged to plan, implement, franchise, and regulate public transportations in Lagos State. LAMATA is the custodian of the Strategic Transport Master Plan. The master plan is developed to create an integrated multimodal mass transit system for seamless mobility across the state. The high-level master plan has 6 railway lines, 1 monorail, 14 BRT routes, 3 cable cars, over 20 waterways and active promotion of active mobility and climate action plans. Alongside the Strategic Transport Master Plan, we also have what we call the Bus Reform Initiative, which is to rationalize bus routes and deploy higher capacity buses, cleaner, higher capacity buses along our BRT standard and what we call the first and last mile corridors. Next slide, please. Great. So our plans, LAMATA has had the plans and programs for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The Lagos State government has developed the climate action plan, which aims to get to net zero by 2050. And this will be done by the implementation of our Lagos State Strategic Transport Master Plan, alongside with our Climate Action Master Plan. We are currently implementing our Bus Reform Initiative, which is a complete overhaul of our public transportation system. We are currently also implementing the bus industry transition program, which in summary is to transition the informal sectors to a more formal structured system. And then we are also implementing an EBRT feasibility study on deploying electric buses along our BRT corridors. We are promoting sustainable modes. And then we've also started to champion the development of a biogas plant to actually stop using ICE engines to adopt something more cleaner like the biogas. Other things that we're doing is also to promote the development of the framework reduction for GHG and aerosols, and that would also commence in this by the end of this quarter. Also, thanks also for the support from EPIC. And one of the other things that we're doing in LAMATA is the solarization project on our infrastructure. Our bus terminals are going to be dependent on solar panels, and we're going to reduce our energy usage from the grid and also from generators. And now, in order to actualize all of these initiatives, EPIC, of course, supported us tremendously with the procurement of sensors to allow us, because we cannot do any of these things without getting the baseline data, and also to talk to our policymakers that these are the realities of what is going on with regards to air quality, pollution, without actually presenting them with this data. And in the effort of us doing that, we've also got other partners that saw the work that we're doing, and they've also tried to support, for example, the Open Seneca sensors that was donated to LAMATA to deployed on buses to also measure mobile emissions data along our public transportation routes. Next slide, please. So great. Before we started the deploying sensors that EPIC supported us with, we first of all reached out to our sister agency and other participants within the air quality sector. And what we did was to map out the entire state to understand where do we have existing sensors, where do we have potential clusters, where monitor adequately. And if you can see from this, that in the white boxes, we have some cluster areas, but then what we wanted to achieve here was to ensure that we had a wide spread of the sensors. Another thing I need to emphasize is, although EPIC supported us, has been supporting us with deploying of this sensor, they also have supported us as well in developing our capacity in not just understanding readings or deployment of this technology, but to understand what is inside the technology itself, the hardware and also software integration. So we still have intention of deploying additional sensors as well by the end of the year. So next slide, please. This is some of the locations that we have deployed to. On the top right, top left, you see the tiny arrow there. We have a sensor deployed to the train station in Agege. We have another station below. Our friend, my colleague Alfred, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. He's installing the sensor at one of our blue line stations, and that's one of the IQS. And then we also have deployed across our bus shelters, depots, and our bus terminals in Lagos. This is just a few of them, but we have a number that is spread across the state. And next slide, please. So this is our dashboard. The dashboard shows the spread of where we have deployed these sensors across Lagos. It can also like the air quality, what it feels like at a certain time. Either it's good, moderate, or unhealthy for vulnerable groups. The dashboard gives us real-time information about the separate, the different locations. Next slide. Oh, great. Mary, if you want to just, yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen. Can we see my screen?
Yes, we can. We're looking at the back end. Yep.
Oh, okay, great. So I'll just take it to the back end. I think it's to the front end. So from the back end, what we have here is different corridors. We have our Abu Legba terminal, Alaba station. We have the blue line. Everything is updating every 15 seconds. So sometimes, you might see it just refresh by itself. So this is Badagry spread across Lagos State. We also have the LAMATA HQ, the LASEPA office. We have different locations. And from the back end, we can see all about 35 different sensors across different parts of Lagos. There are some sensors right now that we are currently working on to integrate into the system. I think let me just view the details of the Ikorodu bus terminal to see some of the information we have there. So this is it from the back end. You can see the signal, the temperature, humidity, and then if I just go to the overview, what I want to do is go to the home page. So can we still see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So users, anyone can actually just go on the aq.lamata.ng homepage, and then you can see the different locations of our sensors. And we still have plans to integrate the sensors with the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency. So we're going to have a more robust monitors. One of the things that we've tried to do is to ensure that our strategic corridor, like the BRT corridor, we have sensors placed at least every 3 kilometers. And then also we're going to try to fill in the gaps as well. What I'll do here is maybe just click this one here. This is mile 12 bus terminal. Then I can click view data details. This is from aircasting. And then I can click 1 month, and then whoever can. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. My screen is a bit blacked out, but that is sort of the data anyone can see from the front end view. So yeah, please feel free to check this out. And our data is being shared on OpenAQ. Everything is fetched from here and sent to OpenAQ. So Mary, if you want to go back to the presentation, that would be lovely. I think I have to stop sharing. Yeah. Great. Next slide. All right. So this is very interesting. At the beginning last month, we had the first electric boat race in Africa, which was hosted in Lagos. And we can see that, prior to that, there's usually spikes at the different is going on there. But then if we observe that during that exact time where it was the electric boats that were being deployed, because there was a circular from the state government that no no ferries, no internet, no diesel or petrol engines should be within that location for the entire weekend. We can see how drastic down the LASWA sensor, Lagos State Waterways Authority sensors, receive this data. You can see it's quite flat. So this is one of the things that we're going to show to our police. We have our governor, that's the governor on one of the electric boats, very happy about the air quality, I presume. Next slide, please. Great. So, kind of as a result of the work that Epic, charged us with, and the good work we were doing, the Open Seneca sensor was developed by University of Cambridge, and it also helped us to scale up our efforts to capture real-time pollution of PM 2.5. So what this does is that we mount this on a bus, and then the bus just goes around its daily operations to capture, the mobile data, mobile PM sensors along different corridors. We are going to scale this up as well to mount them on informal buses as well, and even more regulated buses. It's very interesting work, but I think it is gaining the right stimulus to our policymakers for evidence-based research in a very creative way to see that these are the problems and these are the things that we need to do to address this issue. Next slide, please. Great. As a result of, I keep starting my statement with the result of the EPIC intervention, but it is the truth. As the support that EPIC, we've been able to forge, new relationships and new partnerships on the work that we're doing. We got support from the Transport for London to strengthen the LAMATA data sets, the GHG inventory, to adopt some of their methodology. As a transport authority, we have what we call the intelligent transport system. We're trying to integrate the data from the air quality monitoring management system into the ITS to identify hotspots. We also would support recommendation from your team as well. Ali Davis from the US Department has been guiding us on some of the things that we can put in our framework. We're working on that. We also have Professor Jan from the University of Gothenburg helping us with the interpretation and visualization of our data. We have Air Gradient supporting us with software and engineering issues. The African network we joined as well to develop more capacity, knowledge sharing. Then we also have to count the cost. The capacity from Deloitte as well, introducing us to carbon accounting, the GHG protocols, emission reporting, and of course, the Lagos Environmental Protection Agency. We do this together at the forefront of it together. We deploy different integrated approach to deploying all of the sensors. What we've also done recently, also in collaboration with the University of Lagos, is to take the gospel to secondary schools by ensuring that they have clean air clubs in every secondary school. I think we have about 36 now. That was unveiled at our conference. We've also signed a memorandum of understanding with the World Resource Institute on more how we can, adopt best practices. Next slide, please. Yeah, other technical support that we've got is the Igbobi Hospital. That is the orthopedic hospital we have in Lagos. They have recently secured themselves a high reference grade station, and we've been invited to also participate in that space. We are collocating some of our sensors there as well. And I think that's the picture just on the right there of the station. It's just been upgraded to proper standard one, and it's being managed by the Lagos State University. Of course, our Dr. Rose, who leads the Air Quality Monitoring Research Group at the University of Lagos, supporting us tremendously with collocation and harmonization with their own reference grade, capacity building, Open AQ, helping us with fetching data from some of our sensors like IQ Air to enable the APIs to be integrated more seamlessly. Of course, Open Seneca, I spoke about them earlier on. Then Greenprint, one of our consultants helping us to find the possibilities of unlocking more sort of financing support. And then we'll have a colleague from University of Cambridge that is also being creative in adopting, utilizing the sensors to gather data about heat and how they have and how we can um, deploy it and harness for providing walkways and cycle lanes, because we believe that if we invest more in sidewalks and cycle lanes, our model split says 40 more, everyone is walking anyway, so we need to have a holistic approach in addressing it. The impact is tremendous. More capacity, collaborations, and most importantly, policy and public impact. A lot of these things were submitted at our conference in October last month, and the recommendations have been taken into account by the federal government, and they're currently developing a national policy for soot-free and also for air quality, and all of this, our findings will be factored in. Next slide, please. Great. So back to LAMATA, we address the issue. The issue is that it's bad air quality and there's congestion. But as a transport authority, what is it that we are doing? What we're doing is that we are developing rail lines, electric rail lines specifically. We have commissioned the blue line, which is in operation. We have the red line as well, which is in operation. We have a purple line that is, which the environmental social impact assessment is currently ongoing now, which is going to be a 60-kilometer electrified rail line connecting one state to another state, and it's also going to feed into the other railway lines. It's electric, emphasizing that. Part of our bus reform initiative, a study was done by the World Bank. It's an ongoing study that's done with the DIME group, and they have presented that based on our reforms that we have done, it has equated to 9% reduction in CO2 emission. And then we are also deploying electric vehicles on some of our corridors, which are being piloted as a proof of concept that is ongoing. And then we have CNG, compressed natural gases. About 500,000 of them have been received. Next slide, please. So the idea is when we implement our strategic transport master plan, the future projection, we are going to have about 260 kilometers of rail line, 485 service routes, and of course, water development. And then referring to the mode share I said earlier on, where the downfall had 72%, by the time we're done implementing all of our strategic transport master plan proposal, we should have been able to, eliminate or take out the downfalls out of the Lagos transport corridor, and everything should be more regulated. Next slide, please. Yep. So LAMATA decarbonization pathway, I emphasize most of the trips are done, 40% of them, of all our trips are walking. So everyone is walking, so there's more advocacy for more walking, walkways, bicycle lanes. We're building rail lines, e-mobility, the biogas plant, and of course, we need to still emphasize on real-time measurement of the air quality at every given time to also raise awareness and campaign for the importance of low carbon mobility. Next slide, please. Please, can we? Yeah. So the Lagos Transport GHG mission by 2032, emphasizing on the fact that phasing out the downfall will be by far the biggest GHG emissions to cleaner buses, saving about 7.5 million metric ton a year, and also equates to about 5,000 premature deaths. As business as usual, if we do not change it, you can see how the mode split for the downfalls is. But if we implement it and also alongside with our bus reform initiatives, take it down to zero completely, we'll be able to save more lives and also improve the overall quality of living of Lagosians. Next slide. Yeah, so next steps that we're going to be doing is we're going to be drafting our framework. The pillar of our framework is avoid, shift, and improve. we're going to define some baseline and make sure it's all in alignment with the climate action plan. EPIC is also supporting us tremendously in that as well to develop this framework, as a form of pilot, and then our government would also scale it up to the GHG and PM inventory, and of course, continuous monitoring of this and engaging stakeholders to integrate all of this into our system. I think there's a picture here of the national policy adoption at our conference, which we attracted over about 400 participants from different parts of the world, but specifically all the geopolitical zones of Nigeria was represented. Next slide, please. Great. Yep. We employ everyone to partner with LAMATA. LAMATA has a track record of delivering complex urban mobility projects. We've delivered by far the most ambitious urban transport transition to cleaner mobility project by far, and we do not do this in isolation. We constantly develop ourselves. At the beginning of the year, when we started this laudable project, we went to Southeast Asia. We were there. We made good contact, good networking. We also had a clean air conference at Nairobi as well. And we had our conference. We also linked up with very beautiful people that have supported this project thus far. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. And then thank you very much to the EPIC team. Wonderful thing you're doing for the world, really. Truly grateful. And thank you again.